Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Banachari Jamuna Tira Banachari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jayo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vashadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vashadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jayo Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Jayo Krishna Balaram. Jayo Radha Shama Sundar, Radha Shama Sundar Radhe. Jayo Gauranitai, 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 Jayo Gauranitai. Jai Jai Prabhupada, 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 Jayo Jayo Prabhupada. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Jayong Vishnupad Paramahansa Paribrajacacharya Ashtottara Sata Shri Śrīmad His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jayong Vishnupad Paramahansa Paribrajacacharya Ashtottara Sata Shri Śrīmad His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Krishna Balaram Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Sham Sundar Lalita Vishakha Devi Ki Jai. Shri Shri Gaur Nitai Ki Jai. Grantharaj Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki So today we are reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, 10th canto, chapter 16. 10th canto, chapter 36, the slaying of Ariṣṭa, the bull demon, text number 16. Ariṣṭe nihate daitye kṛṣṇenādbhuta-karmaṇā kaṁsāyāthāha bhagavān nārado deva-darśanaḥ ariṣṭe nihate daitye kṛṣṇenādbhuta-karmaṇā kaṁsāyāthāha bhagavān nārado deva-darśana ariṣṭe nihate daitye kṛṣṇenādbhuta-karmaṇā kaṁsāyāthāha bhagavān nārado deva-darśana. Please repeat. kaṁsāyāthāha bhagavān nārado deva-darśana Matajis. Ariṣṭe nihate daitye kṛṣṇenādbhuta-karmaṇā bhagavān nārado deva-darśana kṛṣṇenādbhuta-karmaṇā kaṁsāyāthāha bhagavān nārado deva-darśana Word for word meaning. Ariṣṭe, Ariṣṭa, nihate, having been killed. Daitye, the demon. Kṛṣṇena, by Kṛṣṇa. Adbhuta-karmaṇā, whose activities are wonderful. Kaṁsāya, to Kaṁsa. Atha, then. Aha, spoke. Bhagavān, the powerful sage. Nāradaḥ, Nārada. Deva-darśanaḥ, whose vision is godly. Translation. After Ariṣṭāsura had been killed by Kṛṣṇa, who acts wonderfully, Nārada Muni went to speak to King Kaṁsa. That powerful sage of godly vision addressed the king as follows. Please repeat. After Ariṣṭāsura had been killed by Kṛṣṇa, who acts wonderfully, Nārada Muni went to speak to King Kaṁsa. That powerful sage of godly vision addressed the king as follows. Purport by the disciples of His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Purport. The term deva-darśana can be understood in many ways, all of which are consistent with the context and purport of this narration. Deva means God, and darshanaḥ means seeing, or an audience with a great personality. Thus, deva-darśana, a name for Nārada Muni, indicates that Nārada has attained the perfection of seeing God, that getting Narada's audience is as good as getting God's, since Nārada is a pure representative of the Lord, and also that Narada's audience is as good as that of the demigods, who are also known as devas. That there are all these meanings of the term deva-darśanaḥ reveals something of the richness of the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam's language. From the Puranas, Srila Vishwanath Chakrabarti Thakur has quoted 20 verses describing a joking conversation between Radha and Kṛṣṇa that took place after Kṛṣṇa had killed the demon ariṣṭa. This conversation, so kindly quoted by the Acharya, describes the origin of Radha Kund and Sham Kund, Radha's and Kṛṣṇa's bathing ponds. The verses are as follows. I am not reading these Sanskrit verses, I am just reading the translation because it will take a lot of time. The innocent young gopis said, "Ah, Kṛṣṇa, don't touch us now. O killer of a bull, alas, even though Ariṣṭa was a terrible demon, since he was a male cow, so you will have to undergo atonement, just as Lord Indra did after killing Vritrāsura. But how can you purify yourself without going to the trouble of visiting every single holy place in the 3 worlds?" Kṛṣṇa replied, "Why should I have to wander throughout the entire universe? I will at once bring all the countless pilgrimage places here and take my bath in them. Just watch." With this, Lord Mukunda struck his heel on the ground. Then he said, "This is the water of the Bhogavati river, coming from the Patala region. And now, O holy places, all of you, please come here." When the Supreme Lord had spoken these words, all the holy places went there and appeared before him. Kṛṣṇa then addressed the gopis as follows. "See all the holy places." But the gopis replied, "We don't see them as you describe." Then those best of the holy places, joining their palms in supplication, spoke up, I am the salt ocean, I am the ocean of milk, I am the Amara Dirghika, I am the river Sona, I am the Sindhu, I am the Tamraparni, I am the holy river Pushkara, I am the river Saraswati, and we are the Godavari, Yamuna, and Reba rivers, and the confluence of rivers at Prayag. Just see our waters. After purifying himself by bathing, Lord Hari became quite arrogant and said, I have produced a pond containing all the various holy places, whereas you gopis must never have executed any religious duties on this earth for the pleasure of Lord Brahma. Then Srimati Radharani addressed her girlfriends as follows, I must create an even more beautiful pond. So go to work. Having heard these words, the gopis saw that Ariṣṭasura's hooves had dug a shallow ditch just west of the Sri Krishna's pond. At that nearby spot, all the gopis began digging up lumps of soft mud with their hands. And in this way, a divine pond manifested in the short span of an hour. Kṛṣṇa was astonished to see the lake they produced. He said, Go ahead, lotus-eyed one. You and your companions should fill this pond with water from mine. But Radha replied, No, 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 no. This is impossible, since the water of your pond is contaminated by your terrible sin of killing a cow. I will have my countless gopis companions bring the pure water of the Manasa Ganga here in billions of pots. In this way, I will fill this lake with my own water and thus make its renown unequaled in the entire world. Lord Kṛṣṇa then gestured to a heavenly personality who was an intimate associate of all the holy places. Suddenly, that person rose up out of Krishna's pond and bowed down to the daughter of King of Sri Vishabhanu, Radharani. Then, with palms joined and tears pouring from his eyes, he began praying to her in devotion. O Goddess, even Lord Brahma himself, the knower of all scriptures, cannot understand your glories. Nor can Lord Shiva or Lakshmi. Only Kṛṣṇa, the supreme goal of all human endeavor, can understand them. And thus, he feels obliged to personally make sure that you can wash away your perspiration when you are fatigued. He is always anointing your lotus feet with nectarian charu and yabaka and decorating them with ankle bells. And he rejoices and feels most fortunate simply by satisfying the tips of the toes of your lotus feet. On his order, we have immediately come here to live in this most exalted pond, excellent pond, which he created by one stroke of his heel, but only if you now feel satisfied with us and bestow upon us your merciful glance will the tree of our desire bear fruit. Hearing this prayer spoken by the representative of the full assembly of holy places, Sri Radha was pleased and said, "So kindly tell me your desire." They then told her plainly, "Our lives would be successful if we could come to your pond. That is the benediction we desire." Glancing at her beloved from the corners of her eyes, the daughter of Vrishabhanu replied with a smile, "Please come." Her gopi companions all agreed with her decision and became immersed in the ocean of happiness. Indeed, the beauty of all creatures, both mobile and stationary, was enhanced. Thus, gaining the grace of Srimati Radharani, the holy rivers and lakes in Sri Kṛṣṇa Kund forcibly broke through its boundary walls and swiftly filled Radha Kund with their waters. Lord Hari then said, "My dear Radha, may this pond of yours become even more world-renowned than mine. I will always come here to bathe and to enjoy my water pastimes. Indeed, this lake is as clear to me as you are." Radha replied, "I will come to bathe in your pond as well, even though you may kill hundreds of ariṣṭa demons here. In the future, anyone who has intense devotion for this lake, which is on the spot where you chastised Ariṣṭāsura, and who bathes or resides here, is sure to become very dear to me." That night, Lord Kṛṣṇa initiated a rasa dance at Radha Kund, generating a torrent of the greatest mood of splendor's pleasure. Sri Kṛṣṇa resembled a cloud and Srimati Radharani a brilliant flash of lightning, filling the sky with abundant beauty. In this way, their divine glories permeated and expanses of the three worlds. As a final note, it should be mentioned that Nārada Muni, being a great sage, understood that the killing of Ariṣṭa more or less concluded the pastimes of Kṛṣṇa in Vrindavan. Therefore, Nārada, anxious to facilitate the transferal of Kṛṣṇa's pastimes to Mathura, approached Kaṁsa and addressed him as follows. Om ajnanatimidandhasya jnananjanashalakaya chakshurunmilitam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathannitam Tvam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhannitamscha Namahong Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Śrīmate Bhaktivedanta Swamin iti namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratvishe Namaha. Pancha Tattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Swarupakam Bhaktyavatarang Bhaktyakhyaṁ Namami Bhakta Shaktikam. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute. Jayatam Surator Pangor Mama Mandamatir Gati Matsarvasya Padambhujo Radha Madana Mohano. Divyad Vrindaranya Kalpadrumadaha Śrīmad Ratnagara Singhasanasto Śrīmad Radha Śrīla Govinda Devo Prishthalibhihi Sevyamano Smarami. Śrīman Rasarasarambhe Vamshe Bhattatatasthitaha Karshana Venu Swanir Gopir Gopinathaya Shriyestunaha. Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye. Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanang Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Mukam karoti bācālam panghum langhayate girim yat kripatamahang bande Shri Gurun Dinatarinam. Hare Krishna. So what can be the more sweet than this pastime? The sweetest of all sweet pastime is killing of Ariṣṭasura, and we will hear how the Radha Kund and Shyam Kund appeared. The whole purport is a detailed description by the Srila Vishwanath Chakrabarti Thakur, and very detailed he described this pastime. So Srila Nārada Muni in his Nārada Bhakti Sutra, he explains that the forgetfulness of Kṛṣṇa, even for a fraction of a moment, should bring greatest remorse in the life of a devotee. So he doesn't say that the devotee may not forget Kṛṣṇa. Devotee may forget Kṛṣṇa sometimes while staying in this material world. But when he does it, when he forgets Kṛṣṇa, he feels so remorseful that he never tries to do that again. And in Vrindavan, by staying in Vrindavan, we can see this, that this is very natural for us to remember Kṛṣṇa. By Srila Prabhupada's mercy, by Srila Prabhupada's desire, as he designed the whole Kṛṣṇa consciousness movement for all of us, it is very natural to remember Kṛṣṇa while we are staying in Vrindavan, especially when we study all these wonderful pastimes from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. And we are especially thankful to Srila Prabhupada and his illustrious disciples, those who have translated all these pastimes after Srila Prabhupada's disappearance from this material world, starting from the Brahma Vimohan Leela. Gopi Pranadhana Prabhu Dravida Prabhu, Hriday Chaitanya Maharaj, and whoever was involved, that for all of us, they have taken this task. So this is Vrindavan life, and if we study all these pastimes and we remember, so there is a high chance when we ourselves depart from this world, that at the time of disappearance, we will be able to remember Kṛṣṇa and make our life successful. Otherwise, what we are doing in Vrindavan? So this is our life in Vrindavan. So Ariṣṭāsura, when he approached Lord Kṛṣṇa, he was the friend of Kaṁsa, and he was searching for Kṛṣṇa because Kaṁsa, he already got the information from Yogamaya that the 8th child, that he will be the reason for his annihilation. He already took birth somewhere. And Kaṁsa was searching for Kṛṣṇa. He knew that Kṛṣṇa appeared, but he didn't know where Kṛṣṇa was appeared. So then Ariṣṭāsura, he was searching for Kṛṣṇa, and by searching and searching, he arrived Govardhan. And when he arrived Govardhan, it was already sunset. So he arrived Govardhan during the time of sunset, and therefore the Radha Kund appeared at midnight by 12 o'clock, because Radha Kund is the only kund that it is recommended that you can take bath. The time of taking bath in Radha Kund, it was at 12 o'clock at midnight. No other kund, there is a prescription that you can take bath at midnight. Only Radha Kund. So Ariṣṭāsura approached Kṛṣṇa, and it is said that when Ariṣṭāsura, he came in front of Kṛṣṇa, when he arrived in Govardhan, he was so huge and he was so big, and his hump was so huge that the cloud were thinking that this is a mountain. The hump of Ariṣṭāsura, mountain, and the clouds, they were moving around Ariṣṭāsura's hump. They were floating around Ariṣṭāsura's hump. So all the Brajavasis, they took shelter of Kṛṣṇa. They went and they took shelter of Kṛṣṇa. And Kṛṣṇa said, "Ma bhaishta, don't be fearful." And so when Ariṣṭāsura, he came in front of Kṛṣṇa, Kṛṣṇa was very much relaxing. He was standing just like our Kṛṣṇa Balaram. The Balaram is leaning on Kṛṣṇa. So Kṛṣṇa also were standing like this. And then Ariṣṭāsura, he became very angry when he saw Kṛṣṇa, that what this child will do. And then he came and he charged Kṛṣṇa. He attacked on Kṛṣṇa. And Kṛṣṇa very comfortably, he grabbed his horn. Ariṣṭāsura had two very big horn. So he held this and he did like this, whirling, and he threw Ariṣṭāsura some distance away. Again Ariṣṭāsura came back and he charged Kṛṣṇa. Again Kṛṣṇa, he held his horn and he whirling like this and threw Ariṣṭāsura, and it is mentioned in the beginning of this chapter, Kṛṣṇa threw him 6 yards away. And it's explained that just like a washerman, he smashes the clothes on a big stones. So Kṛṣṇa also, he smashed Ariṣṭāsura on the ground. And by smashing, Ariṣṭāsura died. So that's the end of Ariṣṭāsura. And then when Kṛṣṇa came amongst the gopis, so that's the whole conversation started here. That gopis said that don't touch us. Although Ariṣṭāsura was a big demon, but still he was in the body of a cow, of a bull. And we consider that the cow is our mother. So gopis, they said that don't touch us. So Kṛṣṇa said, what happened? So he said, no, because you killed a demon in the form of a bull. So it was a big sin. So then gopis said, now you have to go to all the three worlds and take bath in all the holy rivers. So Kṛṣṇa said, why should I do that? Here only I can invite all the holy places and I can take my bath here. And as we heard this pastime, that Kṛṣṇa just with his heel, he struck and he made a pond and all the holy places, he invited all the holy places to come, and Kṛṣṇa took bath. And then after Kṛṣṇa took bath, then Kṛṣṇa became very arrogant. Out of his transcendental arrogance, he told all the gopis that, okay, you are also performing the sin because you have taken the side of a demon. So you are also equally sinful. So you also have to take bath. So you can take bath in my pond. So then gopis, especially Radharani, he said, no. Because you have taken bath in this pond, so this pond became contaminated. And I have my countless gopis who will bring the purest of the pure water from Manasi Ganga. So then Radharani instructed to all the gopis that go to work. And then he, somewhere it says that with their bangles, they dug the pond, and he made a channel. They made a channel of all the gopis, and they were bringing the water, holy water from the Manasi river. So by seeing this, the personification of all the holy tirthas, they came in front of Radharani. It's a beautiful prayer. As we read earlier, that this is the success of our life if we can enter in your pond. So then Radharani, she saw all her companions, and then she gave the permission, and all the holy tirthas, they entered in Radharani's pond. So then Radha and Kṛṣṇa, both, they had this conversation of each other, that Radharani said that Kṛṣṇa said that your pond will be more powerful, more well known than my kund. And whoever comes in this pond and take bath will get the same love as the same love I have for yourself. And similarly, Radharani also gave her benediction that your pond, Kṛṣṇa Kund, Sham Kund, but before that, the Radha Kund's boundary, it broken, and the water from the Sham Kund, the water from Radha Kund, it came to the Kṛṣṇa Kund or Sham Kund. So then Kṛṣṇa also, Radharani also, she gave the benediction that whoever come and take bath in your pond, he or she will be very, very dear to me. Just like I have the love for yourself, he or she will get the same love by taking bath in Kṛṣṇa Kund. So this is the appearance of Radha Kund and Shyam Kund. And Srila Rupa Goswami, he explains in the Nectar of Devotion the glories of Radha Kund and Shyam Kund, and with what mood we should approach Radha Kund, the exalted place. Just like when we do the dressing for our lordships, we are very, very careful that when we are piercing the pin to place a flower or anything, ornaments or anything, we should be very careful. We are very careful that it should not touch the transcendental body of our lordships. In the same way, when we approach Radha Kund and Shyam Kund, we should be very, very careful. Although in the Nectar of Instruction, the verse number 9, 10 and 11, which considers the Bhava Bhakti and Prema Bhakti verses. So Srila Rupa Goswami, he says here in text number, okay, let me read the text number 9. Vaikuntha janita vara madhupuri tatrapi rasotsavat brindaranyam udarapani ramanath tatrapi govardhana radha kundam tathapi gokula pate premamrita plabanat kuryad yasya Birajato giritale shevam viveki naha. So the holy place known as Mathura is spiritually superior than Vaikuntha, the transcendental world. Why? Because Lord Kṛṣṇa appears there. So Srila Rupa Goswami is explaining step by step, starting from Vaikuntha, Mathura, then Vrindavan, then Govardhan, and then the topmost place of this universe, Sri Radha Kund. Then he said that superior to Mathura Puri is the transcendental forest of Vrindavan because Krishna's Rasa Leela pastimes. Krishna performs his Rasa Leela in Vrindavan and also in Govardhan. There are two types of Rasa Leela during the Sarat Purnima and also the Vasanta Ras. So Vrindavan is famous, or Vrindavan is more higher than Mathura because Krishna performs his Rasa Leela pastimes. And superior to the forest of Vrindavan is Govardhan hill. Why? Because Krishna raised the Govardhan hill for 7 days and 7 nights. And Brajavasis they were drinking the nectar just by seeing Krishna's lotus face. Then he said, and above all, the super excellent Sri Radha Kund stands supreme. For it is overflooded with the ambrosial nectaring prema of the Lord of Gokul, Sri Kṛṣṇa. Where then is that intelligent person who is unwilling to serve this divine Radha Kund, which is situated at the foot of Govardhan hill? So because Radha Kund is so exalted, we should approach Radha Kund in a very, very careful way. Just like we go to Govardhan and some devotees or visitors, they bring Govardhan Shila, take from there and bring and keep in their room, which is not appropriate. You cannot take Govardhan from the Govardhan itself and bring him in Vrindavan. That is very, very inappropriate. So all these places we should approach very, very careful. In Radha Kund, when we go to Radha Kund and when especially we go for taking bath, it is said that once Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he visiting Govardhan with his 1,000 disciples. And they did the Govardhan Parikrama and they came to Radha Kund. So Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, neither he took bath in Radha Kund, nor he allowed any of his disciples to take bath in Radha Kund. And what he did? He offered prostrated obeisances to Radha Kund. He prayed to Srimati Radharani. He offered prayers to Radha Kund. He did kirtan. He gave a lecture, and then he returned from Radha Kund. Also, we hear one incident during Srila Prabhupada's time that Srila Prabhupada, some disciples, they went to Radha Kund and the way they took bath, it was not appropriate. So then Srila Prabhupada mentioned that they didn't take bath in Radha Kund. They took bath in Naraka Kund. And therefore, Srila Prabhupada also in his life didn't recommend to take bath in Radha Kund. Because what is Radha Kund actually? It is the liquid prema of Radharani. There is no difference between Srimati Radharani and between Radha Kund and Srimati Radharani herself. So, when we approach the Radha Kund, we should be very, very careful. I remembered when we were doing the Bhakti Shastri course, Srila His Holiness Prabodhananda Saraswati Maharaj, he was teaching us this book, Nectar of Instruction. And when Maharaj was teaching us this verse number 9, 10 and 11, specifically describing the glories of Radha Kund, and Maharaj again and again, he was mentioning that even if you go to take bath in Radha Kund, we will read the verse number 11, where Srila Rupa Goswami and Srila Prabhupada is mentioning. Even if we go to Radha Kund, even if we wish to take bath, that has to be with the permission of our respective spiritual masters. What to speak of staying in Radha Kund? Our founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada never recommended these things, going to Radha Kund, staying there or taking bath. But even if you take permission from your spiritual master and you wish to take bath in Radha Kund, there is such a certain procedure, because this water is liquid prema of Srimati Radharani. And it is said that you cannot just go and enter in Radha Kund and put your feet first. It is said that you should offer your obeisances to Srimati Radharani, to Radha Kund, offer prayers, bring that mood, that what I am going to do. And then you should enter your right hand first. And slowly you go inside. You offer prayer to Srimati Radharani. You offer some prayers. You describe the glories of Radha Kund. And then slowly you take bath 3 dips. And if you are second initiated, you do Gayatri, and slowly, slowly you come out. It is not like that, oh, this is Radha Kund, it is like a normal swimming pool, and we just drown ourselves. So this is not the mood. Because in spiritual life, the respect should always be there. Whether we are studying the Shastras, whether we are associating with the devotees, whatever we are doing, we are honoring Krishna Prasad, we are going on the altar, we are going to Radha Kund, Sham Kund, any pastime places, we should be very, very respectful. So this should be our mood. And if this point of respect is missing, then you take 100 times bath in Radha Kund, you will not get any spiritual things. So therefore, we should be very, very careful when we approach Sri Radha Kund. And at the end of the purport, because when Kṛṣṇa killed the Ariṣṭāsura, then Nārada Muni, he told Kaṁsa that, let me tell you what is going on actually. That Kṛṣṇa is Vrindavan is not the son of Nanda and Yashoda. He is the son of Devaki and Vasudeva in reality. And Kaṁsa started thinking that how Kṛṣṇa got to Vrindavan. And Nārada Muni told him that Vasudeva took him to Vrindavan. And any devotee may think that why Nārada Muni is doing this? Why Nārada Muni is behaving like this? Because Nārada Muni is playing in both sides. Because Nārada Muni, being the pure devotee of the Lord, he has one goal, that how Kṛṣṇa will manifest soon and how the annihilation of Kaṁsa will happen soon. Because Srila Prabhupada, he mentions in the 4th canto of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam that a perfect devotee's position is just like Nārada Muni, completely independent and unbiased. Completely independent means totally dependent on Kṛṣṇa and nobody else. And Nārada Muni, his mind was that 100% what brings Kṛṣṇa pleasure, because he thought that the more Kaṁsa behaves in a more horrendously, Kaṁsa behaves, more quicker the Kṛṣṇa's appearance will be. So you can see that when Nārada Muni came to the picture, and actually when the first child born of Vasudeva and Devaki, and Vasudeva, his words, because he promised to Kaṁsa, when Kaṁsa was about to kill Devaki after their marriage, Kaṁsa very intelligently, Vasudeva very intelligently, he told Kaṁsa that why you are getting so much bothered by the 8th child of Devaki. I will bring you all the children. And Kaṁsa, he put faith on Vasudeva. Vasudeva's word was like word of gold. And Kaṁsa, he trusted Vasudeva. And when the first child born, so from Devaki, Vasudeva brought the first child to Kaṁsa. And Kaṁsa, he said, you take it back, Vasudeva. I don't need this. You take it back. But Vasudev, so then what happened? Kaṁsa was giving the child back, and Vasudev, he didn't know what to do. And then Nārada Muni, he came to the picture again to agitate the situation. So Nārada Muni thought, what is happening here? Kaṁsa is returning the child. It is blocking Krishna's pastimes. Because the Acharyas explains that this returning the child, it's like the blocking Krishna's appearance. So Nārada Muni, he steered this whole thing. And then he came to see Kaṁsa. And he said, what you are doing? In touring of the heavenly planets, I heard what is going on. All the demigods and everyone there having a meeting. And they were they were discussing how to cruelly kill you. Not just kill you, how to cruelly kill you. And furthermore, I heard that not only just the 8th child, any child of Devaki can be the reason who can kill you. I am giving you the enough ground to think about. So then, Vasudev, he thought that Kaṁsa was such a character you cannot trust. So then, with Nārada Muni's advice, with Nārada Muni's advice, Kaṁsa killed all the first 6 children. So then later on, we know that Kṛṣṇa ultimately, because after killing the Ariṣṭāsura, then Kṛṣṇa killed the Keshi demon and then Vyōmasura. And then Kṛṣṇa, he ended his Vrindavan Leela. And then finally, on advice of Kaṁsa, Akrura went to Mathura, and then he brought Kṛṣṇa and Balaram. And then we know the ultimate result, that end of Kaṁsa. So this is our good fortune. By staying in Vrindavan, we hear all these pastimes and of Kṛṣṇa Leela, and we make our life successful. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Are there any questions or comments? Okay. Grantharaj Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai, Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol.